Saw dudes, I have never created a Sunbracers build because it is so common today. I like to be original and release content that is fresh and new, but I gave in because I found great weapon pairings. Today's build combines the insane ad clear and damage of solar grenades and combines it with the melting potential of Devil's Ruin. Devil's Ruin has an alternate fire mode that is activated by holding the trigger, which releases a beam that has more range, stuns unstoppable champions, and has a higher precision multiplier. In DPS swap setups, this thing is a mini monster. Let's get started. Without a doubt, Dawnblade Warlocks will be using Well of Radiance. The 25% damage buff and healing is too good to pass up and allows teams to output the best damage possible. The class ability is going to be Phoenix Dive since this build does take advantage of aerial movement. It'll act as a quick repositioning and healing tool. Incinerator Snap is the preferred melee to cause ignitions and proc Sunbracers. Of course, we will be using solar grenades to take advantage of Sunbracers. Solar grenades are great for ad clear and area denial. The Solar Angel aspects are Heat Rises and Touch of Flame. Heat Rises grants melee energy when killing enemies while airborne. It also allows us to eat grenades like Titan's Ether Crayons, granting the Heat Rises buff for 15 seconds and cure times 2. The buff allows for extended glide time and is extended by airborne kills. Touch of Flame augments solar grenades, causing them to linger for 2 more seconds and release magma orbs while they burn. Fragments for the knockoff kill from League are Ember of Empyrean, Resolve, Singeing, and Torches. Empyrean extends Restoration and Radiant effects by 4 seconds on solar kills, capped at 12 seconds. Resolve makes grenade kills grant cure times 1. Singeing grants 300% additional base class ability regen rate for 3 seconds after applying Scorch to an enemy. And lastly, Ember of Torches causes powered melee hits to grant Radiant for 8 seconds to us and allies within 8 meters. Let's take a look at the armor. On the Angel helmet, I used Harmonic Siphon, Dynamo, and Heavy Ammo Finder. Dynamo can be swapped for Font of Wisdom if you'd like. For Sunbracers, I went with Firepower, Focusing Strike, and Font of Vigor. The Heavenly Bathrobe had Concussive Dampener and 2 variable resistance mods. On the Boots of Justice, I chose to go with 2 copies of Solar Weapon Surge and Harmonic Holster. If you don't want to use Harmonic Holster, go with Recuperation for more survivability. Finally, the Bond had Time Dilation, Powerful Attraction, and Outreach. Because Incinerator Snap requires being in close range, 100 Resilience is required. Unlike many other Warlock builds, Discipline is not required at all. Instead, aim for Recovery and Strength. Since Font of Vigor is being used, do not go above tier 7 Strength. Dump the rest into Recovery for a lower Phoenix Dive cooldown. Time to go over the super hot bio weapons. Please use the timestamps in the description and the pinned comment if you want to navigate between them. Weapon Loadout 1 uses either Pardon Our Dust or Wastelander, Devil's Ruin, and the choice between Apex Predator and Cataclysmic. Pardon Our Dust is here for one reason only, that being on-demand ad clear. Disorienting grenades, auto-loading holster, and vorpal weapon shut down enemy approaches and nullifies gunfire. It's a great choice for stopping Minotaurs and falling captains. Wastelander is a beast for swap DPS. It also doubles as a way to increase Incinerator Snap damage via 1-2 punch, thus increasing the likelihood of a melee kill and Sunbracer activation. Devil's Ruin is the star of the show. It does roughly 16,000 sustained DPS, which is increased by 46% by Surges and Radiant. With buffs considered, it will do 23,000 sustained DPS and 46,000 burst DPS. All in all, the small sidearm melts and pairs perfectly with the holster mod for an on-demand mini nuke. Apex Predator is perfect for swap DPS due to bait and switch and can reload while holstered with reconstruction. It can double as ad clear in a pinch. Cataclysmic also possesses bait and switch, but has better ammo economy than Apex and can put out more total damage with 4 times the charm. Also, you can't blow yourself up. The choice is yours. Weapon Loadout 2 uses Showrunner, Duality, and Apex again. Showrunner can roll with Kinetic Tremors in the 4th slot and has the lowest activation time for the perk. It can help with ad clear and the swap DPS playstyle. Essentially, you'd fire enough shots at a tanky unit to activate Kinetic Tremors, that being 14, then switch to another weapon to pile on the hurt. Duality is another criminally slept on weapon for DPS. Hipfire shots release pellets and kills with this fire mode grant a stacking precision damage buff. The precision buff applies to the Slug ADS fire mode. At max stacks, Duality has a 55% precision damage increase for 8 seconds that is refreshed on precision hits, not kills. Sustained DPS sits at around 37,000 with the max buff, so this can be truly shredding. Apex is here for the same reason as before. It does big damage. Finally, I'll go over the game loop to close out the video. Start encounters by consuming a grenade to activate Heat Rises. Then get a melee kill with Incinerator Snap to proc Sunbracers. Before throwing any grenades, jump and remain airborne so that any kills will provide melee energy. This perpetuates the first gameplay loop. When you need to heal, use Phoenix Dive to get restoration times 2. The next loop involves weapon swapping. Equip Devil's Ruin and fire the beam, then switch to your kinetic weapon and fire at enemies. Switch back to Devil's Ruin and fire the beam again since the holster mod slightly reloaded it. For boss DPS, do the same thing but include the heavy weapon, so it'll go like Devil's Ruin Beam, Kinetic Weapon, Heavy, repeat. Remember that most, if not all kills, should be scored while airborne. rinse, and repeat. Ever since I got some slightly negative comments in my video about Swordbreaker, I wanted to experiment with weapon swapping. I watched Aegis' video about lightweights, so I decided to put Wastelander in a damage rotation to try it out. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you for watching and happy farming.